Warrior, I want to make you aware of a very special film that was just released on July 4th. It is called Sound of Freedom. Now, what does this mean? Sound of Freedom. Let me give you a little background into this film. First of all, my husband and I attended the film on 4th of July, and the theater in New York City was packed. It was so great to see so many people turning out. Number one, coming together in a crowd. Number two, coming to a movie. And number three, to see this particular movie, Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom is based on the story of Tim Ballard, his journey in child sex trafficking. Tim Ballard is now the founder of Operation Underground Railroad. But before he started this nonprofit, he was Homeland Security. And his specialty, if we can use that word, was rooting out on the internet child predators. And one day, well, I don't want to give away the movie. I want you to see the movie. What is so terrific about this movie is, number one, it is a human interest story, right? Not one of those big blockbusters, lights, sounds, things flashing, all that stuff. It's a story. And we have to get back to storytelling. There is nothing more powerful than telling a story. And this is based on a true story. So it is the story of Tim. Again, I'm not going to give it away. Doing some very dangerous work and coming out on top, and then forming Operation Underground Railroad. Why this movie is so important is, number one, it is a subject matter. It took 5 years to get this movie to what we call the big screens. I looked at a couple of reviews today. Many periodicals are not even reviewing it. The ones I did see always made a reference to conservative, right, far right, religious, something like that. This is a story. This movie is put out by Angel Studios. Angel Studios has a whole slate of new movies that are very much, again, human interest stories. Human trafficking, sex trafficking is human interest stories. It's what's happening in the United States. And although this movie takes place, because remember, it's based on Tim's work, his life in other countries, overall, the message is what we want to drill home. The message that this is a $150 billion worldwide business. I venture to say it's bigger because that's what is reported. That there is more slavery today in the United States and around the globe than any other time in history. As this movie rightfully points out, these are things that Americans, all people, need to know about. And then you need to know what to do and take some actions. One thing that is terrific about Angel Studios, the producer of this movie, because they didn't want this subject matter for various reasons on the screen. Then we had COVID. Nobody was going to movies. Finally, 5 years later, released. Is that Angel Studios, go online, Sound of Freedom. It's a paid forward program. They went into this movie with the idea of we'll sell 2 million tickets, we'll raise $2 million. The movie was bare bones, cost basically nothing to put together. And they went into opening day with 10 million. I read a figure this morning, 11 million. But by the crowds I saw, and 2 people today alone reported to me, one in California and one in Texas, that it was sold out at their theaters. Now, a couple of things we need to know about Sound of Freedom. If your movie theater is sold out and people are doing this, please contact them, find the manager, because you can ask them to add an additional screening, and they're doing it. So please, that's number one. Number two, the Pay It Forward program with Angel Studios. If you cannot afford a ticket, and the idea is that everybody see this no matter what, no matter how. You may be able to afford a ticket, so you buy a ticket. Maybe you can't. Go online, Sound of Freedom. Fill out the form, get your free ticket. Maybe you can be extra generous, buy a ticket, and then you're buying one for somebody else. The goal is what we say at the Warriors all the time: community creates change. We want everybody to see this movie, to start getting human trafficking, child sex trafficking on their lips. Yes, it's desperate. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's ugly. But as the movie points out, this dealing in children will surpass the whole human trafficking. I stopped for a second because if I stop and think about how people can do this to kids, how we have a complicit government with what's going on the border right now, how it is escalating, how our children are now being looked at as a product, not our precious children. If you see this movie, and it's not for children, it's strictly for adults, you need to have a conversation with whoever you see the movie with other family members, age appropriate. Urge friends, neighbors to see this, because it is a true story. It is surpassing this trafficking, the arms trafficking. Law enforcement tells me some of them, it already has surpassed the arms trafficking. We don't really know. It doesn't matter. It's all horrific. And you will leave this movie, people were leaving the movie very solemn, very much in disbelief. The next goal is to have a movie with what's happening right here in America. Whether it's going to be a movie about digital predation, something. But at least Sound of Freedom is waking up, sounding the alarm, getting people into the theaters. People are talking about it. At least it's getting some reviews and people are reading them and seeing. And actually, even when they call the movie far right or faith-based, whatever they call it, the reviews are still pretty good. It's a solid movie. Remember, it's storytelling. But the movie stars Jim Caviezel, who is Tim Ballard in the movie. You may know him from Passion of the Christ from 19 years ago. His wife, Catherine, is played by Mira Sorvino, and a cast of other characters. It's gritty. It's dark. You feel dirty when you walk away from it. It is done appropriately with children, the scenes, I'll leave it at that. But the idea that the movie made it onto so many screens is a miracle in and of itself. So you need to go, you need to watch this, you need to talk about it, you need to buy a ticket for somebody else, or you need to go online and get your free ticket. But you need to see Sound of Freedom. Because the more we raise awareness, it sounds very simple, the more we talk about it, the more we provide resources, we will intervene and prevent. And perhaps that will be your child that does not become victimized, or your grandchild. Always go to lynswarriors.org. Take actions, news events, studies, stats. Know what's happening. When I said earlier that our children, our precious children, are now just a commodity, just something to be traded, something to be used, we also have facing us in the United States 14 states willing to change their laws right now, Department of Labor, for the child labor laws. And what I also want to point out is that these are Republican states. So let's call out everybody attacking our children. What they want to do now is, child labor laws a long time ago were put into place because very young children were hurting themselves working in factories, working on roads, in conditions they should not be in. And now we want to put the kids back into this. As a matter of fact, the state of Iowa, as of Saturday, July 1st, passed it, meaning extended work hours for a child, extended where they can work, including in restaurants serving liquor. Warriors, you know this isn't right. Children belong happy and healthy and developing brains and having fun and being with their friends, reading books, doing art, whatever they want to do. They don't belong working in meatpacking factories or any kind of factories, anything around lumber. How about all the farms? I dare say there could be a correlation between the over 85,000 children missing unaccompanied from the border who came here, and now all of a sudden we want children to work in these harmful environments. And these are corporations, American corporations, willing to hire a child because it's cheaper, because a child can't sue. Remember, a minor cannot consent. Yet you'll have them work in a factory so they can't sue. There's no workers' comp. We have stories of immigration lawyers and teachers telling us that children are going to school during the day, rushing off to jobs after school, and working through the night. This is all wrong. I know you know it's all wrong. But what are we going to do about it? We're going to break it down. And the first step is you are going to the movies and you are going to see Sound of Freedom. Watch the trailer online. It's about 3 minutes. And I know you'll want to go and watch the entire movie and pay it forward, because we at the Warriors believe in paying it forward, because we believe it always comes back bigger and better to us. So you've got some homework. Sound of Freedom playing in theaters now. Please, we urge you, go see it. Please follow me on Facebook and Twitter, Lynn's Warriors, lynswarriors.org. My Saturday radio program, Lynn's Warriors, 3 p.m. on TNT. My Wednesday radio program, Lynn's Warriors, WVOX. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, State of the Nation, including some of these issues and other headlines. Today, we had a terrific guest, immigration attorney from San Diego, Esther Valdez Clayton, and I'll get that interview up by tomorrow, talking exactly about all of these issues and what she's dealing with. Come together. It's up to us. It's 2023, fork in the road, culture shift. And remember, each and every day, be a warrior.